So I think that there's a lot of people who love camping or getting out on an outdoor adventure, but maybe they don't go as often as they like to. Maybe there's something holding them back. For me, that was definitely the case. Years ago, I was out on a camping trip with a buddy of mine and I asked him, well, dude, why don't we do this more often? It didn't make sense to me that only once or twice a year we'd go out and do the thing that we loved doing the most. And I thought about it, and really it was just, there was so much work, so much preparation that went into planning a trip, packing for a camping trip, getting a campground reservation. And the thing is, I was just doing it all wrong. I really want to get into that today and also provide a quick channel update. So stay tuned. So real quick, I want to provide a channel update. A lot of you have been asking, why did I change the name of the channel to Alpine Tactics? Now, Alpine Tactics, I just think better embodies what I've always been doing on this channel, and most of all, what I'm most passionate about. And in summary, what this video is about today, and that's having the right gear and tactics in place to thrive on your outdoor adventures. So, in summary, that's why I did the name change. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of what this video is all about. Now, one of the most important lessons that I've learned over the years is to be purposeful with everything that you bring on your camping trips. Now, the way we used to do it is I didn't have a camper shell on the back of my truck. We just have a big open truck bed and we'd fill that thing up. Our girlfriends would bring these big old suitcases for a 3-day camping trip packed to the brim. Me and my buddies, we would have every piece of outdoor equipment that we'd own. We'd load it all up in the back of the truck. We'd throw a tarp over it. We'd ratchet that thing down and I'd be left with this big pile of crap that I'm hauling out to the mountains for our camping trip. Now, as you can imagine, as we get out there and you got to unload the truck and then load it back up, you just have all this stuff and 95% of it we didn't use. We were young at the time and thought we had to be prepared for every little thing, which you don't. It is good to be prepared for safety, for survival issues, but really, you don't need that much. And that is the biggest lesson that I've learned over the years. It's created the most amount of work in not only packing, but actually being out on a camping trip. You just have stuff in your way that doesn't need to be there. Number 2, I would say, have the right gear. Now, this could be different for how you're camping, the people you're going with, the places that you're going to. But that goes along the lines with being purposeful with everything that you bring on your camping trips. You know, having the right camp kitchen equipment so that you can cook a good meal, but not overly excessive. You don't need a camping stove and a barbecue. If you want to, you've got the freedom to do that. It just might make your trip more difficult. And so, you know, obviously this just gets back to being very purposeful with what you're bringing on your camping trip. Next up is being organized. Now, this is something that is a constant theme on my channel. There's been various ways and different setups that I've had over the years, and recently I've even changed up my setup again to simplify it once more. Being organized is key. When you're out on a camping trip, you want to be able to access the gear and just that item that you need to be able to use it, put it back where it is so you know where it is later. This makes your experience when you're out cooking while you're camping or you're needing certain items while you're out at camp, it makes your experience while you're out there that much more enjoyable. Also, by remaining organized, it eliminates so much work. Packing up and leaving for a trip, packing up and coming home, and putting all your gear away at the end of the trip, it just alleviates so many problems. The next piece I would say is tactics. Now, when you have the right processes or tactics in place, packing up for a camping trip or replenishing after your camping trip and getting ready for the next one can become a very easy and streamlined process. What mine looks like is I've got a running list on my phone. It's just a checklist that I mark off as I'm packing things in my truck. Now, when I talked about this in the organization section, a lot of this stuff is ready to go and just needs to be thrown in my truck. But I do want to make sure that I get everything and that I don't leave something behind, because since I have simplified my camping gear setup quite a bit, I don't want to miss anything, because most likely, if it's in my gear kit now, I need it. Now also, On the likewise, having one for a post trip is also, I think, important. Not only have a couple items that I need to replenish at the end of a camping trip, and sometimes I don't need to replenish anything, but those items are like propane, paper towels, soaps, toiletries, that kind of stuff. Did I use it all up on that camping trip, and do I need to replenish it? If I do, trying to be disciplined enough to just replenish it while I'm on my way home. Maybe stop at the local Walmart, replenish what I've used, and that way when I get home I'm already packed up for the next camping trip and I'm ready to go. Now this next piece, it's not mandatory, you don't have to do this, but I highly recommend having a vehicle that is made well for the type of outdoor lifestyle that you're doing. If this is going to be something that you're doing all the time, I think it's great to have something like a Toyota or, you know, a Jeep, something that is built for adventure. I've outfitted my truck quite a bit, and there's plenty of videos on my channel where you can see what my setup looks like. But having a vehicle that you specifically outfit for your camping trips takes a lot of the work out of it. I have a fridge in the back of my truck that stays back there all the time, and it's always running. And so being able to just hit the grocery store on the way out of town, pick up a couple things and just throw them in there really minimizes the amount of work that goes into getting ready for a camping trip, because food preparation can be a really big part of that. Now, the reason why I'm so passionate about this topic is I think spending more time in the outdoors can really improve our quality of life. I know it's had a great impact on me. Everything I've covered today so far has just been a broad overview though. Now, there's lots of videos that I've already done that go deeper into depths in some of these topics, but going forward, I actually have plans to cover all of these in depth. At the end of the day, like I said earlier, this is what this channel is all about. And so, welcome to Alpine Tactics. If you like what you heard, make sure you hit that subscribe button. For those who have been wondering about the change of the setup, the iCamper is gone, the deck drawer system is gone, I've got some rifle cases on the roof. If you're wondering about that, make sure you check out this next video, because right now we're gonna dive into why I hated my previous setup and what is different now. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you out there. We'll see you in that next one.